is the recreational and competitive adventure sport of flying paragliders. Lightweight, free-flying, foot-launched glider aircraft with no rigid primary structure. The pilot sits in a harness or lies supine in a cocoon-like speed bag, suspended below a fabric wing. Wing shape is maintained by the suspension lines, the pressure of air entering vents in the front of the wing, and the aerodynamic forces of the air flowing over the outside. Despite not using an engine, paraglider flights can last many hours and cover many hundreds of kilometers, though flights of 1 to 2 hours and covering some tens of kilometers are more the norm. By skillful exploitation of sources of lift, the pilot may gain height, often climbing to altitudes of a few thousand meters. History of paragliding. In 1966, Canadian Domina Gilbert was granted a patent for a multi-cell wing-type aerial device, a wing having a flexible canopy constituting an upper skin and with a plurality of longitudinally extending ribs, forming in effect a wing corresponding to an airplane wing airfoil. More particularly, the invention contemplates the provision of a wing of rectangular or other shape having a canopy or top skin and a lower spaced apart bottom skin, a governable gliding parachute with multi-cells, and controls for glide. In 1954, Walter Newmark predicted a time when a glider pilot would be able to launch himself by running over the edge of a cliff or down a slope, whether on a rock climbing holiday in Skye or skiing in the Alps. In 1961, the French engineer Pierre Lemongin produced improved parachute designs that led to the Paracommander. The PC had cutouts at the rear and sides that enabled it to be towed into the air and steered, leading to parasailing or parascending. Domina Gilbert invented the parafoil, which had section cells in an airfoil shape, an open leading edge and a closed trailing edge, inflated by passage through the air, the ram air design. He filed U.S. patent on January 10, 1963. The equipment. The wing. The paraglider wing or canopy is usually what is known in engineering as a ram air airfoil. Such wings comprise 2 layers of fabric that are connected to internal supporting material in such a way as to form a row of cells. By leaving most of the cells open only at the leading edge, incoming air keeps the wing inflated, thus maintaining its shape. When inflated, the wing's cross-section has a typical teardrop airfoil shape. Modern paraglider wings are made of high-performance, non-porous materials such as ripstop polyester or nylon fabric. In some modern paragliders, from the 1990s onwards, especially higher performance wings, some of the cells of the leading edge are close to form a cleaner aerodynamic profile. Holes in the internal ribs allow a free flow of air from the open cells to these closed cells to inflate them, and also to the wingtips, which are also closed. The pilot is supported underneath the wing by a network of suspension lines. These start with 2 sets of risers made of short 40 cm lengths of strong webbing. Each set is attached to the harness by a carabiner, one on each side of the pilot, and each riser of a set is generally attached to lines from only one row of its side of wing. At the end of each riser of the set, there is a small delta mailon with a number 2 to 5 of lines attached, forming a fan. These are typically 4 to 5 meters long, with the end attached to 2 to 4 further lines of around 2 meters, which are again joined to a group of smaller, thinner lines. In some cases, this is repeated for a 4th cascade.